Welcome to my world, the world I've created on Planet Crafter. And let me tell you, it is great here. It's absolutely incredible. And even more so than my Alpha Beta base on Occupy Mars, because unlike Occupy Mars, this game is fast and smooth, even after playing for a long time. Hasn't slowed down a bit. And I had one guy arguing with me about the fact that it was my machine. Now, this game is well coded, well designed for what it needs to be, and Occupy Mars has to make some decisions. But anyways, enough about that. Yeah, this game is it's been a lot of fun. I've been terraforming, developing this planet for a good number of hours now. I'm about, I would say, I could be more than halfway, but I would say halfway through the content, because I've completed the regular terraforming development trees, but I'm at the stage of moss, which is the greening stage, which I think is kind of the theme of the second half of the game. I want to go here, and there's a whole new set of development patterns that are based on, biology, biomass, animals, that sort of thing. So basically, it looks like it's about half the game, because the first half of the game, was the other part. Maybe 2/3. I mean, it's hard to judge. But and of course, it's early access still for this game, so it's hard to know how much more to come. And there will come a point probably where I've done all I can until some updates happen. But anyways, I want to show you around. This is it's been one heck of a game. This is of course my base as I have it now. But when I first started out, I was in a base just over here. Yeah, started out nice deep in the middle of a lake there in Lake Nautica. No, I'm only kidding. This lake wasn't there when I first started. There was no water on the planet, just some ice. Oh, look at the greening over there. There's some moss. The moss is starting to green. But anyways, sorry. ADHOS, attention deficit hyperactivity. Oh, shiny! But anyways, in the middle of here was just a survival pod, and nothing but my wits, just like in Occupy Mars. And you have a simple crafter, and you're able to craft some oxygen and some water tanks, and build a basic base unit, and a better crafting machine, of course, so you can craft more than just the very basic materials. And then just a good checklist of things to do to get your base and your terraforming going. Excuse me. After that, you're on your own, and then you're building up all these terraforming trees, which I will show off back in my base here. I'm at the left side. So of course at the start, your terraforming index is really basic, is up to 0, of course, so it's very basic. But when you build your first oxygen thing, I can't remember what they call it now, you put a seed in it and it grows oxygen, you start to develop your oxygen level, and this tree starts to unlock some of these powers. When you build a heater, finally, you can start unlocking this tree. And when you build your first pressure generator, which is a drill usually to start, then you start unlocking this tree. So unlike Occupy Mars, where you develop and gain your technology just by playing the game, normally, this game does require you to do some specifics around your base. So yeah, you're going to do some excursions, some exploring, because you got to get materials, and early on you can't even make food, so you have to go out and find and explore some shipwrecks and stuff, space shipwrecks, to find some food. But in order to develop your tree, you have to make sure you're all working on these areas to get technology. So a little different from Occupy Mars, but it was a refreshing change because it just keeps happening. And there's a passive component, because once you build even the first simple structure in one of these trees, that they keep going, and you can actually get a screen fairly early on to see how the development's going, so you kind of watch your progress. And literally, you can sit in your base, and as long as you have food and water, you can sit and watch this for hours. You can just develop and go from stage to stage. But definitely the way to speed things up is to play the game and build more advanced and more quantity of structures. So here, to give you an idea, obviously all these things originally were down in the lake there. I had to move them all up here, but early on you build heaters. This is the most advanced heater, but at the first level you start a very simple heater, then eventually develop a better heater, and then these heaters. So this is how heat is generated into the planet. Heaters at this point are always, or at every point, I guess, is always inside the base. You can't build heaters outside and don't need to. There's also other ways to generate heat, which I'll get to, but and then of course oxygen. You start off building your first, what do they call these? Veggie tubes. Indoors, the first T1 and T2 veggie tubes. But then after that, you can build veggie tubes outdoors. And basically, the better the seed level you put in here, the faster your oxygen goes. And of course, you build more of them because the more you have, the faster your oxygen develops. So you can go as fast as you want. You can build a whole bunch, or you can build a few like I did, and let time grow you up. Inside of here's my biology base. Inside of the biology base. Gives you an example of how you some of the ones that are indoors, the T2s, or can you build T3s indoors? I can't remember. Let me see. I know I build some indoors. T2s. So you can't build T3s indoors unless you build outdoors. But these T2s, still build quite a bit of oxygen. Once again, based on how much the percentage of the seeds you put in, you get more or less. So you build those indoors. And then your oxygen tree starts going. And then finally for pressure, the pressure is always generated outdoors because you can't build any pressure things inside your base. But that's where these drills come in. And this is the T3 drill. So once again, the T1 drill was fairly simple, started the pressure going. That's one of the first things you actually build in the game. It advises you to. And then during the introduction stages. And then there's a T2 and then this drill T3. And obviously I'm not going to build, once I move from my water base that got swamped with the lakes, I wasn't going to build any more T1s or T2s because there's no advantage, so I just built T3s and put them in various places, and I'll show you, some other places I built these, and then that generates your pressure. And then as all three of these are generating, you start, even with one or two, I believe, you start generating your MTI, which is your something terraforming index? Mass terraforming index? I can't remember what the M stands, but it's a terraforming index anyways. And then you start to see, that going up as well. And then eventually you start going from stage to stage, and it shows you what percentage of the stage you've completed. So that's how the game progresses. Early on, you get to build some of these panels. The first one you build is one for your blueprints, so you can you can keep track of your blueprints as you gain them through development. And here I'll show you what I mean. The ones that are locked are locked under a under a certain condition. So 200 MTI, I'm at 86.9, so I got a long way to go to get this this blueprint. Although, like with Occupy Mars, you find things in bases that can speed that up. So these microchips you find in bases here allow you to gain random blueprints that you don't have yet. I think it's usually limited to ones that are near where you are in the game. So I don't think you can get like the best blueprint just randomly. But so that helps speed things along and give you some abilities that you might not have had otherwise. And so that's why there's a random component to how you develop too. And then early on you can build these or build storage chests. I don't build storage chests anymore because they don't hold very much. And there's one small storage chest in your first pod, and you can't see the pod anymore unless I go swimming underneath the lake. It is down there still, I assume. But anyways, these chests, I don't know if I'll be able to. Yeah, I'll be able to find one over here, I think. They're little blue chests, and they only hold so much, but early on, gives you plenty of storage. Later on in the game, it becomes a little too small, which is why I build those storage cabinets. Much more efficient in the long run. Where is a chest? I thought there was one. Here we go. It might be empty now, of course, because I probably cleaned it out. But yeah, so they only hold about 8 things, so not a lot. Jump ahead of myself here. Fly back home. I'll explain one of the coolest parts of the game soon. I can fly, I can fly, I can fly. There we go. Oh, and early on, of course, you got to build power too. The first things you build are wind turbines. Very inefficient. So once I moved my base, I didn't build anymore. I started building the largest solar panel, which is these ones here, and there's a smaller one. There's two smaller sizes after you stop building wind turbines, you're going to mostly only build solar panels. And then eventually you gain these nuclear reactors, which are really cool, and there's 2 levels of that. I've built a lot of the little ones because the first nuclear reactor is fairly efficient to build. And then of course the this giant nuclear reactor out here. Oh, I gotta drink some water quickly before I go on my... Anyways, the big nuclear reactor here is... And I got tons of power because of this. As you can see, I'm still have 176 power available after I built that that level 2 level 2 nuclear power generator. Anyways, these cabinets are what you build now. You can label them if you want. I don't bother, but they're a lot more storage, you can see. So I have 3 in this room base here, my main base, and then as I was showing you quickly, a sneak preview is my bio facility here. When I built this southern dome here, I had to make a change. I used to have the doorway on this side, but I could only connect it up to that dome by building it there, so I ended up building there's a door on there you could go up to, but I built a side door here into my bio facility. So normally I would come in through the front here, but anyways, the bio facility, you can build some unique things that are unique to the biology tree, which I'll get to in a minute, more about the biology tree. And of course, then you can build your first biodome shortly after that, or around the same time, I guess, or maybe even a little before. And the biodome allows you to start to look at your biomass tree, and you see your biomass development when things unlock. So the T2 spreader is unlocked at 500,000. I'm getting there, well over halfway. And of course, in here, I moved to all my food producers. And you need food, not only just for food, you need some of these for some of the recipes for biology too. So I end up building, more food than I could ever eat, because I can store some of this in the fridge, or in the fridge, I'm back to Occupy Mars, in the holders for when I need to make recipes and stuff. And of course, it automatically produces more oxygen with these things. And then, I added a few oxygen producers as well to make this facility, more multi-purpose, I guess, more truly a biology and oxygen generating facility. And in here, of course, here's where I keep anything to do with usually biology, my seeds, extra seeds, this new tree bark, which I'll explain in a second, my algae, which you gain from the lake algae generators, and of course extra seeds that I would use for food or whatever, all in here. And then because I never have enough storage for my ores, I have an extra storage of extra ores here. And then, and of course the food, I built a food cabinet here so I can start storing my extra food somewhere where it's handy. And then somewhere along the line you get the T2 dome. And this was really disappointing because, as cool it is to see these trees, the only purpose I can tell besides, letting you see trees early on is to generate these barks, which a whole facility dedicated to just creating one construction item seems kind of kind of a waste. If it helped you actually get early access to trees, or maybe research so you could develop trees on the outside, I think it would be more useful, but it is what it is. It's a pretty cool looking facility, I guess. Just seems like a waste of a whole dome, for one thing like that. Oh wait, is there another? Is there 2 of those? Oh yeah, one on each end. Cool. And it was very hard to hook this up to the main base, so I had to monkey around to find a way. So anyways, this is my biology facility now. And I want to show you around the planet, because outside of the main base here, which you can see lots of great things. Oh, and water generation too. Early on, of course, you don't have to there's lots of ice all over the place, so you generate water by collecting ice and turning it into water. But now the temperature has gone up so much there is no more ice. And so earlier on, I built this water generator here, which gets water through the atmosphere, and that allows... I got way too much water. I'm going to have to dump some of it off at some point. Water everywhere, so let's all have a drink. Homer Simpson. But then, of course, you get this, when your lakes are established, you get this lake generating water facility, and this one really gets you a lot of water. So, yeah, once you get to this point, it's nice. You don't have to go gathering ice anymore, and water's you can just build it right outside your base. That's why I like the fact that I built this base just up the hill from the original base, which I knew was going to become a lake at that point, and then right beside the beautiful lake. Lakeside property, because I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. It is kind of a desert, although the desert technically is just over there. I need some food. Mushrooms are good. Yeah, we'll have I'll squash too. Sometimes early on also you start to build these things that you need. So the first one you build is a construction one, and then you get a deconstruction one for when you go to bases. You can tear things down, plus tear down anything you built that you didn't want, that you built wrong or you want to correct. Or just when I, of course, tore down my old base to move to the new one. And then early on you get a developing one to give you more spaces, and then another one to give you more spaces as well. That's called the exoskeleton. You start off with a basic oxygen tank one, which gives you a certain level of oxygen, and then you get a better one, which gives you more. And of course, T4 gives me ability to hold a lot more oxygen when I travel. Because when you're in a base, of course, you always regenerate oxygen. You're always full. So when you're basically early on in the game, you have to keep going back to your base to make sure your oxygen fills back up. Later on, you get the ability to build a compass, which lets you see directions, like here. As you see at the top of the screen, the directions right at the top. And then, of course, your backpack upgrades. You start off with a T1 backpack, and then as you get to T5, you get much more slots in your backpack. And then I'll get to the jetpack in a minute. You get a torch early on, so you can explore bases. And then I upgraded to a torch 2, which is more light. Agility boots you gain later on. There's up to 3 levels now. Makes you travel faster when you run. And then mining speed. I haven't really seen mining ever being an issue, so I don't know why mining speed matters, but I did the upgrades anyways, just because it was something to do. And of course, the jetpacks are so cool. Not quite as cool, I guess, as in Occupy Mars, but they allow you to fly quickly from place to place, and I spend most of my time flying when I'm outside of my base. Even running doesn't compare, and I'll show you what I mean. I got a T3 one coming soon to build when I get enough materials. Oh, oxygen. I'm outside, I gotta get an oxygen. But I'll show you what I mean. So when to fly, you have to jump and then hold the space bar after you do. The space bar is jump normally by default. So when you press second time, you start flying. And you just hold the space bar as you travel, and you can fly around, and it's such a quick, smooth way to travel. You can get over hills, and you can jump off of high parts, and you float to the ground like you do on an old game I have videos from called Surviving Mars. I don't think it ever runs out. If there's fuel, I sure don't know how it ever runs out. But then again, I haven't even seen how you drown in water, because I haven't taken a chance on that. So I don't know how you know how much oxygen you have when you're in the water either. Maybe, I guess your oxygen level maybe goes down. Not sure. But you can run too, and I see the agility boots make me run quite a bit faster, having T3 boots. But as fast as running is, flying is just so much cooler. And so yeah, I love my my boots here. And these are examples of bases that you go in and explore. I guess I can just give you a quick little sneak preview before I give you a tour of the world I call my current home. You go inside, and then of course it gets dark, so you see your flashlight come on if you have it turned on. And if you don't, then you gotta hit F to turn it on. Some ore in here. And sometimes you have to use your deconstructor to tear down things that are in your way. I don't think this will tear down, no. Pretty sure I've already cleaned this base out pretty good. Yeah, I just went in here recently. But anyways, that's the cool aspect of exploring derelict ship crashes. I always want to say bases because that's what we called them in what they were in Occupy Mars, but they are derelict ship crashes. Crash ships. Oh, here's an example of my better. I have two. I built an early algae collector in the lake that was my base originally. But then I built up the bigger one here because I thought, I'm not as big of a lake. It might be easier to go swimming to collect in a smaller lake. So basically, when you go into these, you can collect the algae. I just collect one because I don't want to fill my inventory with algae. But yeah, so collecting algae is part of developing the biology tree, which is the current second or half or final third of the game so far. But anyways, I better get some oxygen, and I'll show you around a little tour of the. So you've already seen the area that I call my base, and I've told you about the area where my base originally was in the water. Well, early on, you're going to need something called. You're going to need aluminum, and you can find aluminum in various places. But Aluminum Hills here is, as they call it, you can see the big aluminum deposits. It's a pretty cool place to gain your aluminum, and most of it's here. Or the best place to find it is here. That's why they call it Aluminum Hills. And it's easier to see at night, but it's still there in the daytime. But anyway, so you can collect aluminum the hard way, but eventually you get these ore extractors, and then you can start collecting ore automatically. So I can fly over here when I need, and I'm going to be able to collect aluminum and some other stuff. Until you get to the T3 ones, apparently you always get other ore besides the one that you're collecting. But I can get some aluminum here. Other ores, I'll have to clean it out. But yeah, I fly over here when I need aluminum. And then iridium's another one that you get. And iridium early on, if you don't know where to go, it's confusing. You don't know where to find it. But it's just not far from where you originally start. If you start in the main basic area, that you can start in other areas if you so choose, if you're an advanced player. But if not, I recommend starting basically where the lake is, where I started, because it just makes the game overall easier. But yeah, you see these big sand things falling from the sky. That is an internal little cave that leads to an area they call the Iridium Mine. And in here is where you find, well, you get more aluminum too sometimes and other resources, but the biggest thing you find here is iridium. And it's a red ore, it glows at night and somewhat in the daytime too. So of course you'll find iridium just by walking around if you look for a red glow in the distance. But of course I don't want to do that all the time, so I built an ore extractor here as well. I love flying around all over the place. And this ore extractor here, I get some iridium and other ores as well, as I was saying. So yeah, quickest way to gain ores once you gain these is to build one. And those are the two I recommend. I know later on there's one advanced one you can build that'll collect some other more rare ores. Like one of the ores that's really hard to get that I need to get more of is uranium. And uranium's pretty hard to get. You find some in bases. You find some uranium rods in bases as well. And of course you use uranium to make uranium rods as well. But it's not easy to find in the open world that much. Usually exploring ships is the way you're going to find most of it. Don't want to die. If you die, you have to go back and your items are put in the chest and you have to go pick up all your loose items, so I don't want to do that. But yeah, so I mean, exploring base is the best way to get uranium, but eventually, and not too deep into the game actually, you get the ability to build this launch pad. And unfortunately, I've had a really hard time finding a place where I could build this launch pad. So you'll see how humorous this one is. It's literally on the edge of a rock or a sand structure, and then the rest hangs off the edge. Like, that's a better place to build than on flat sand. I don't understand. But anyways, you can launch rockets from here, and some of the rockets are used for my mapping panel. But there's also one that you launch that actually attracts uranium meteorites to the ground, so then you'll see crashes all over the place with uranium. And there's one also for iridium, but of course iridium is plentiful in the iridium mine, and now I have more than I ever need. So the one with the uranium one is better. Plus it generates extra heat for your terraforming. But yeah, here's the one that does what's it called? Pressure, as well as attracting uridium meteors. And then this one here is the one. This one I have to launch pretty quick here. This one will actually increase my biomass or my biome. And it like spreads them over the entire world. So it's a key part of generating your overall planetary biomass. GPS Satellite 1 I launched fairly early, and GPS Satellite 2 not long after that. These give you a map, and then a picture of a map, and then a bigger map. And then eventually I'll be able to launch T3. You need a super alloy rod though, and that's late in the game to make those. So that'll be a while. And then you get an even bigger one, and you also, with a super alloy rod, you can do a map information rocket, which I'm assuming that's something I wish they had in Occupy Mars more. A bigger map with more information, because I had to make my own. But anyways, you launching these rockets, building them and launching them, gives huge benefits. So this launch pad has been an awesome thing. And early on, I launched my first one to get me some mapping, and then I launched a one to get more uranium, because uranium's how I built all my my nuclear solar reactors. So. But anyways, as I said, with the jetpack, you can leap off things, so I don't have to go down the hard way. So anyways, those are the two of my favorite areas. Early on, of course, now there's a lake, making the trip just a little harder. I gotta make more oxygen. You need cobalts, the blue ores you see all over the place, not the same color as the chests. You need 2 of those to make oxygen tanks. And I'll need to make some more of those. I'm starting to run out, and you can't really explore the world without having lots of oxygen. But up here, there's a derelict ship that is good to explore. And of course, like I said, there wasn't water here originally, so it was a place you could just, walk up to. Now I have to fly over the water or swim. Oh, and that's where you can see the moss starting to grow. That's cool. Moss grows flat on a rolling stone, but that's not how it used to be. And I built another one of my pressure generating drills out here. So look at all the cobalt. Grab some so I gotta make some oxygen. Here, just grab one. Excuse me while I grab a few of these. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. There's a base up here, and also there's a cave that originally was frozen over with ice too, when there was, still ice around, and it tells you, it's going to melt at a certain point, and I think it's 100 temperature or something. Now there's no ice, or I guess there's this little piece of ice still, so there's still some ice. But in this cave here, you gain another important rare element that, and I think I've taken it all away now. And you can't use the ore generators here. You need a higher level ore generator, but this cave here gives a very... Oh, here it is one level. I made a new one here. So this is called osmium, and this is for more advanced things in the game. But you have to go get that every now and again. So this cave, unfreezing this cave and getting in here is a huge stage of the game as well. And once, of course, both sides get unthawed, and then eventually you can come out the other end, which leads out to the desert. Maybe you have to fly over this ice here. Another piece of that's just cobalt. But anyways, out here, what is this? I thought that was the desert. Oh no, I'm still in a cave. Look at the ice structures. This is cool. I don't remember this part of the cave. May have to explore a little more. This is cool looking. But anyways, on the other side of the cave is the desert that you can see from the beginning, basically out where my rocket launching pad is the desert, and it's a cave that has 2 entrances once you unthaw the 2 sides. But inside is that rare mineral. Oh, and of course, then here's sulfur something or other, and that's scary looking. I don't know if I want to go down there, but apparently that's where you get your sulfur. So you kind of have to. Sulfur is another element a more advanced element you need as you get more into the game. It's important. And then if I fly from here, I know I will be able to get back to the desert. Oh, I'm in the clouds! Terrifying when I'm in a plane and you go through clouds and you don't know what's in front of you. Oh my, it looks like Hades. Oh, and I gotta run out of oxygen too. I gotta get back to base. What is that? Huh. I don't know. I don't think I've come through here much. I don't know where I am. I just hope I get out of here soon and I can get back to the desert or somewhere where I know where I am, or I'm gonna end up dying in a place where I don't know how to retrieve my gear. Oh, thank goodness I'm out of that anyways, but where am I? Where in hell am I? Oh, I thought I was out! Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in! Come on, give me some place I know where I am. Oh, there we go, that's the desert, I think. Wow, I was getting scary there. I had no idea where I was. Thank goodness it appears you never run out of fuel in your jetpack and you can just keep flying. I gotta get back to base. There's nothing in sight. It's truly a desert. That's sand! Why don't I live where the food is? Great comedian. God rest his soul. Where the heck am I? I guess I'm heading far west, so... Oh, shoot. The further west you go, the further east you gotta go back to base. Oh, there's gotta be a way around. This is bad. How the heck do I get back to base? I may end up having to reload because I have no idea where I am. I want to show you guys the east side of things, but goodness, this is crazy. Actually, well, I'm going to reload because I don't think this is productive while I'm making you guys watch this. Here, let's just reload quick and then I can show you guys what I want to show you, not me getting out of a place I didn't want to be in the first place. Oh, come on! It's auto-save me. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Oh. I didn't know there was an auto-save. I thought you had to actually... Oh, I'll go back the way I came because I shouldn't have come out here anyways. Ah. It sucks to get lost. I mean, this map's not that big. I can't believe I actually end up getting lost. But I know I gotta get to the northeast. Because that's where the base direction is. We went... Wait, no, southeast. Southeast. Okay, I gotta land and... Oh no! I thought I had an oxygen left. Oh, this is terrible, man. I'm gonna end up dying because... Oh, and I'm gonna have to... I'll have to come out here and get my stuff some other time. I can't believe I got myself so lost. Good thing all I really have is water and food. None of the other stuff I had before I got here, so... Oh well. Not cool. I mean, dying doesn't really hurt. It just, you have to go back and retrieve your stuff, which is kind of like an old multi-user dungeon game I used to play. Still frustrating. Grab some food. Back where the food is! Oh, I still have some anyways. Oh, and some water too. I just gotta make some oxygen. And then I can go back to show you guys a little of the east and then... Oh, also I probably should, I'm also gonna show you guys how I get something else. Food generators are easy, and once you grab food, it starts the generation process over again. There's something else I wanted to show. Well, I guess I want to show construction, because I haven't really, or at the, building of items in the item builder, whatever you want to call it. Different than, I get lost in my own base now. This is pretty sad. Here, turn on the flashlight. Okay. In the, it's like I want to say 3D printer because that's what they called it in the other game, but it's not a 3D printer. It's there's a basic item constructor, craft station. Okay, crafting station. How to craft items, and then as when you have cobalt, you can craft oxygen, and you see all of the items you can craft, and that's how you make all those items that I have in my inventory. I need more oxygen. And then, of course, an advanced craft station you build eventually, which lets you build the more advanced. And they said, yeah, for uranium rods, you need 9 uranium. For iridium rods, you need 9 iridium. Super alloys need 1 of every type of regular element. And, of course, rocket engines to make rockets to shoot off the rocket pad needs uranium, an iridium rod, and a super alloy. And that's why I'm not launching a rocket right now, is I need more. I need 1 more loose uranium. Then that's how you build your jetpacks too. And kind of fancy items I hold in these storage chambers: my iridium rods, and super alloys. Which you get so much ore in the game at some point, you might as well just keep making more of them. And then over here, of course, I have these effigies, which are really just for show. They're decorations. That's sulfur. Oh, fabrics. I forgot about fabrics. You find them in bases to build furniture. And osmium, as you know, I was collecting. And furniture, not really all that useful. It just makes your base look nice. It's all down here. Here's all your panels you make. Oh, that's what I want to show you too, the other panels. And then all the things I've unlocked to build for the base building, machines to terraform. Machines to save our lives. Machines dehumanize. I have a bed just because you should have a bed, right? I mean, what place wouldn't have a bed? But it doesn't really do anything. Anyways, here's the map one. I'm now a level 2 because I've launched the level 2 satellite, so you can see a certain amount of the map. Wish you could see more. I'm looking forward to getting a bigger map. And this communication panel, you get messages mostly from Riley, who's trying to secretly send you messages. And I don't want to spoil the origin of why you're here because it's a fairly simple story, and no reason to spoil it. You'll see for yourself when you play the game why we're here doing this crafting. And then, of course, this shows you how much power you have and how much you're using and how much you have left. So these panels you construct to help organize your life, so to speak. Anyways, I need more oxygen, so I need to, wrong one. I need to grab some more cobalt. Ooh, I don't have a lot of cobalt. But I'm not going too much further anyways. I've only got three more things to show you. And then I'm going to wrap up my overview of what is an amazing game. Yeah, that should be enough. And normally I save off, and I thought that would be the place I would respawn, but apparently it auto saves you and forces you to auto spawn in places you may not want to spawn at, but oh well. So anyways, you've already seen Aluminum Hills, and if you fly over what this is now a lake, you'll see that there's sometimes these little girders you can climb up into these mountains. And up into these mountains is one other cool place that you can access early on for getting those super alloys. And also there's a nice huge base up there on the top of the cliff, and you have to climb up, and of course you can jump down using the jetpack once you have the jetpack, but normally I imagine you'd probably take some damage if you came down the hard way. But yes, up in these hills is some really cool stuff. And you get super alloys here, so it's very important to come here at some point early on. And also, I think I got a lot of uranium from these bases too, and somewhere around here you're going to find more uranium on the ground. You might find some gold chests, which among having those decorations that I showed you, which is the main reason I guess they're a gold chest, but they also are more likely to have things like uranium in them. And I need one more uranium to build a rocket that will give me more uranium, the one that attracts the uranium meteors. So unfortunately I short-sighted myself, and I left myself one uranium short of a full rocket engine. Which unfortunately is why I was going to show you how to launch a rocket when I first got into this little demo, but I can't do that because more seeds. Not I don't have too many of them already, but just need I'm hoping to find a uranium somewhere. Oh, there's seeds everywhere, my goodness. 300 multipliers too, eh? 400 multiplier, jeez. Man, these bases you can find things. You can miss things that you can find if you're a little more diligent. Seed lermas you need to build some stuff, and eggplants are not only food, but they're useful for constructing fertilizer for the biology tree. I don't think I'm going to end up showing a lot of the biology tree because maybe I'll make a video on the other half of the game later on and show off more of that, but it's a whole nother tree that I'm just starting out, basically about greening and providing biology. I guess one thing I wanted to talk about that I hadn't got into much was the fact that one of the things that really makes this game appeal to me is when I was a kid, I used to play a game sometimes called Sim Earth, where you terraform. And it was very out of date. The ideas of science was ridiculous. They had Venus as a planet you could actually go to and terraform, which is ridiculous. Venus is a hostile wasteland that very little could ever survive for more than minutes at a time. But they didn't know that back then. But anyways, you that was a scenario. But you terraform a planet. Oh, I gotta get oxygen. From a surface view. And I always thought, wouldn't it be cool if you actually go into this planet and and explore the world? And then there's this game right now where you can literally explore the world as you terraform it. I mean, that's great. That really took that whole concept of Sim Earth to a whole new level, and makes this game really amazing. Watching, not only can you go into the world and explore the world you've created, you literally watch it form around you. I mean, that's just a really revolutionary concept. So I mean, maybe this game's early access, and maybe it's simplistic in graphics, maybe a little cartoony, but the overall concept of the game, terraforming a world as you survive and explore it, really revolutionary for anything I've seen in the past. That's what I was looking for. Here you can grab super alloys. Once again, I'm hoping to find a uranium at some point, but I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to do that. But anyways, yeah, that's the Planet Crafter. Still in early access, if you can believe it, with so much to do. But yeah, I guess there's a lot more you can do too. So, nothing but good things to say about this game. Was there any criticisms I did have? I think there was a criticism I had at some point. Well, obviously, I wish the autosave. I don't see any options to turn that off. Not a lot of customization options. You can start in a different place. Other than that, really, let's go northwest. Other than that, the game's fairly simplistic, and you're mostly playing the same game every time. And I mean, I've only been playing the game for, I don't know, what, 10, 15 hours, and I've already, got 2/3 of the way through the content, so not a lot of content. But the way this game just never slows down, no matter how much I play, blows me away after playing Occupy Mars, where, you explore a little bit, and all of a sudden now the game's too slow to be almost playable. This game, they did it right. They made the game exactly as it was meant to be. No multiplayer, maybe. I mean, maybe eventually they've talked about having multiplayer, but they've certainly committed to nothing in that regard, so it'd be nice to be able to play with some of my friends. Not that I play a lot of games with friends, or have a lot of friends for that matter. I'm an old 47-year-old gamer that pretty much a lone wolf for the most part. But other than that, really, this game's just got nothing but good things, and it's fun and action-packed, and you can't sit on your laurels, as you see, or else you'll die, just like a game should be. But everything's quick, and you can build things fast and gather things fast, and the world's not too big, so you can get around and grab things you need. Occupy Mars can be a real time sink compared to this game, and this game really, like I said, maybe 10 to 15 hours I've already gone through most of the content, which, I'd rather play a lot of interesting games than one that takes me forever. And I mean, I've been playing Occupy Mars probably for 2 months, and I'm still not all the way through everything I could have done in the game. So, I mean, yeah, this game definitely flows and is action-packed, and if you want a game that's not going to bore you and lag on, this is really the game for you. And, of course, for me, anyone who loves space science as much as I do, and I know Darkularity, who's doing a playthrough of this series, loves it too. And that's the reason why I'm not doing an actual playthrough. I just wanted to kind of do an overview review of where I was in the game, because I don't want to steal Darkularity's thunder. His series is interesting, and I want it to go to fruition. I might end up going to do something after his channel's up, or his videos are all up, just to, do my own thing. But no, I just wanted to. And of course, I'm further along because he's pacing himself and only has so much time to play, and he wants to, keep his viewers interested. If you aren't following and watching Darkularity's videos, you should. He's so entertaining. He's funny. He's got a good voice and personality. Lots of charisma oozing out of every portion of his broadcasts. Yeah, I mean, you should be checking out his channel. He's a great gamer playthrough person. That one of the best YouTubers I've been enjoying. He brightens my day most days, so I'm watching him pretty much every day I can. We'll play with this game and with Occupy Mars. So yeah, definitely check him out. He's pretty amazing, and he's doing a full playthrough of this game, which is why I'm not going to until, so maybe when he's done. But I still have a good third to a half of the game left to go, so I'm looking forward to what's to come. But I hope you enjoyed what you've seen so far. Hey, I'm at the 100 terraform index. It's a new milestone for me, and that puts me at 33% towards moss, and you see the moss slowly growing on the edges. Yeah, not bad. I've come a long way since I started this game really just 2 days ago, and I haven't been able to put it down much out of work. I'm very impressed with how captivating this game can be. So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed a little overview of a great early access game. Devs, keep it up. You guys have done a great job with this game. Not a lot of criticisms, or unlike with Occupy Mars, a lot of advice or ideas I can give you. This going great, and keep up what you're doing, because this game is, for two people from France making a game, this is phenomenal. even with the simplistic of the graphics. So yeah, keep it up. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Danimal Daniel Jobber, aka Bad Player 03. Hopefully you're checking out my series and episodes on Occupy Mars, because I'm trying to do a most efficient playthrough of the game. So if you want to know how to play the game efficiently and to not waste a lot of time and energy on things that you don't need to do and make the game slow down needlessly, definitely check out the tips in the direction of my broadcast. If you don't want to watch all the episodes, they are a little long at times. I'm trying to cut them down with a little more cutting out of parts that are less interesting, but more importantly time-lapse over the part that maybe you might want to watch but not want to watch in real time, like ore gathering and stuff like that, and base grinding. But I hope you're watching that one, because it's a great game too, and I'm looking forward to where that game goes as well. Both early access games, both really exciting, both captivated me completely, and glad they both exist. And once again, as I said, I'm digressing and getting off on a tangent. Danimal Daniel Jobber, aka Bad Player 03. If you're watching this on YouTube, I also do a lot of my content live on Twitch, on my Danimal Daniel Jobber Twitch channel. And once again, Danimal Daniel Jobber, DANIMAL DANIEL JOBBER. And of course my YouTube channel, if you're watching on YouTube, which you would have to be, because I don't see you on the Twitch channel, is Danimal Daniel Jobber, and I have a few others, but that's neither here nor there. Also, I have Instagram under @Daniel Jobber, capital D, capital J, and then on my that's my Twitter, Daniel Jobber, capital D, capital J. I always get that mixed up for some reason. And then Instagram is Danimal Daniel Jobber, all lowercase letters. So you can follow me on any of those. And of course, I do have an email under DanimalDanielJobber@gmail.com. So anyways, I hope you check me out in the next video. Make sure you punch that like button and subscribe, because I'm really excited about growing this channel now that I found some games I really love, and hope you enjoy watching my overview of what's a really good game. I will see you in the next video. Jobber out.